morning, everybody. Lovely to see you again. Now, we've come back, let's open the book. We're going to light the candle and say the prayer. Can anybody remember the prayer?
Jesus is the light of the world, sharing God's love with us. Amen.
Today, I have a surprising story for you, all about a farmer. Jesus tells us a story to help people understand what really is and what really isn't important. And there's a big surprise in the story for the man in the story. So let's find out more as we open the book and read The Greedy Farmer.
Once upon a time, there was a rich man who spent his whole life thinking about how he could get richer. One morning, the rich man who owned a farm walked from his house to his fields. He looked at his crops and he rubbed his hands together greedily.
All mine.
Climbed to the top of the biggest barn and looked out across the farm. He shouted at his servants who were loading grain in the hot sun.
Work harder. I want to sell that grain and be even richer.
He walked from his house to his fields. He looked at his crops and he rubbed his hands together greedily.
All mine.
Climbed to the top of his biggest barn and looked out across the farm. He saw some birds swooping down to peck at the grain.
Go away, I can't eat my grain. That's all my grain. Shoo.
Another week went by. The rich man walked from his house to his fields. He looked at his crops and he rubbed his hands together greedily.
All mine.
He climbed to the top of his biggest barn and looked out across the farm. He saw a poor man picking up some grain which had accidentally spilled on the floor.
Stop, thief! Stop! You can't have any of that. I don't care how you feed your family. Go away. Don't come back.
The rich man walked home. He thought long and hard about his grain.
Birds, they're eating all my grain. And the people come and they eat and they take my grain and it's spilling out. I can't have that. I need all my grain. I want it all mine.
Morning, the rich man walked from his house to his fields, and he called to his servants.
Hey, stop working. Stop. Put down your feet. Put down your tools. Put them all down. Come here. I want to talk to you. Leave all that. Come over here.
The servants were very surprised, but they did what he said.
This barn is not big enough. Today I want you to tear it down and build me a much bigger one because I have far too much grain for this small barn. I've got lots of grain to put in a much bigger barn. And tomorrow, when you're finished, you can build another one because I'm going to have so much grain I'll be able to put it all in and sell it all.
Day after day, the rich man went to his fields to watch the servants building his enormous barns. He made sure that no one came by to take so much as a handful of his precious grain. At last the barns were finished. The rich man walked home. He thought long and hard about his life.
I have so much that I will never need to work again. In the morning, I will go out and buy myself some new clothes. I will order the best food and crates of wine. I'm going to have a wonderful time spending all my money because it's all mine. All mine.
The very night, the man died in his sleep. No one mourned and no one wept for the man who had all the riches in the world, but kept them all for himself. People like this rich man can never please God. Don't be like him. Being rich won't make you happy, and being selfish is always a bad choice in the end.
Please help us to know what is really important in life and what isn't, and help us not to be like the greedy farmer, but to share what we have with others. Amen.
As the candle goes out, we take God's love with us to share with each other. Amen.